Good afternoon. I'm Michele Fiorentino, professor at Polytechnic University of Bari, Italy. And with this video, I will present a paper called Precise Tool to Target Positioning Widget, TOTTA, in Spatial Environment, a systematic review. The other authors are Mine Dastan and Professor Antonello Uva, both from Polytechnic University of Bari. I want also to introduce that this paper has been selected for the journal TCGV of Tripoli publication and also presented on Tripoli ISMAR2024 in Great Seattle area. I will start introducing the topic of this talk. Let's start with a question. Can you shave with a straight razor? Probably most of you will not able to do this, but thinking that your grandfather could shave every day with that. In short, one fact from science is that new generation have lower motor skills than the previous. And this is one of the reasons we work on this topic. In particular, we are working on the mixed reality and the tool dexterity support. That means dexterity means from Latin right hand, so it's a skilled motor coordination of hand and tool. It's very important in various applications like industry, medical, and craft and arts. The main driver of this research is a work we also presented at ISMAR2024 called Co-Designing Dynamic Mixed Reality Drill Positioning Widget, a collaborative approach with dentists in realistic setup. This work has been also presented in ISMAR24 and we originally want to develop assistance to dentists, but by trying to find guidelines, we didn't find any. And in particular, we also found that the research community is missing, is not well defined, as well as not defined the problem, and there is no systematic review or standards. First contribution of this work is definitely the definition of TOTTA. In our knowledge, there is no any study that belongs to UI research which specifically address the problem of guidance of real or virtual tool towards real or virtual target. For sure, we know that there are a lot of similar research in literature, related to drag and drop, aiming, aligning, docking, and so on, but none of them specifically involves a tool, and this is the reason of this name. We really hope that future research will address this paper and the TOTTA definition for further research. Therefore, the contribution of this paper. We first, for the first time, we provide a systematic review on mixed reality TOTTA widget. In particular, we will present the bibliometric we find, the mechanism, the widget design, the evaluation methods and methods, and for sure we will give some perspective of what could be done in the future. The first step was to run a systematic review using a standard Prisma method on the most important repository of scientific papers, Scopus, Tripoli, and ICM. The initial query led to 206 papers, which seems a large number, but in a second step, we manually excluded a lot of papers which are not related to TOTTA, or they have no details about widget designs, or they are not relevant. So the final pick was 24 papers. The first analysis is about bibliometrics. Most interesting thing is that the research objective of the papers found was mostly related to novel input devices, so that's hardware, that's to say, and a few focused entirely on widget design. This is a very big gap in literature that is related to the fact that when researchers develop a new hardware, they also take the time to start working on an interface for that. but actually we think that also pure virtual design can be very valuable. On the other aspects, most of the research shows that this topic is fresh, with a growing interest from the community, and mostly in general application, with limited in some cases in industrial and medical. The following step is to read all the 24 papers and study the design of the widget we found. You can see here on the big picture all the 24 pairs that we found. On the top is the tool, and on the bottom right there is the target. It's clear from the first glance that there are very many designs. Some are completely weird. They're using bunnies, they're using teapots, or they're using strange design. And also, the main topic is that the design should provide, differentiate the tool from the target. It must provide unique positional and rotational clue, should be intuitive, and minimize occlusion. As you can see, there are a lot of approaches in literature. However, an important finding that apart the difference of the visual design of those tools, the mechanism under these tools is the same. It is basically the superimposition of the two geometries, and it's also supported by Gestalt principle of reification, which means the capability of human being of recognizes alignment of shapes. Here you can see an example of the cube, which actually we can clearly see in a very quick and pre-attentive way, but the cube is not existing, and this is a result of reification. And this mechanism is used by all of the most and almost all of the papers. As far as the widget pair design, we notice that, as you can see from the graph above, that most of the pairs have the same geometry. The box is preferred, and the distinction between tool and target is basically color. Another important aspect we examined is the feedback. One common feedback is the task completion. That means when the user reaches with the tool the target, designated target. And the feedback generally is, in most of the cases, color change, and in second option, sounds and text. However, some limited number of studies, around the half, they not limit just to tell when the user has reached the threshold of success, but also provides more information and more guidance during the process, during the path to the target. In particular, most of the paper work with color change or just sound, so sonification, to guiding, but an interesting paper also uses collimation with the representation of the error in amplified way. As far as regards the frameworks for evaluating those widgets, we found that each of the 24 papers have a different approach in evaluation. The approach changes in terms of task to do, procedure, user position, and environments. On the other side, the evaluation of the tools use similar within subject procedure and with the subject which are in a young area of the age, mostly student, and right-handed and male. The quantitative and qualitative metrics are pretty standard and similar. To conclude, we give a short overview of the key takeaways of our research. For sure, you can find more detail in the full paper. In general, all the papers show that those widgets can improve user performance, especially for rotations. Another result is the common mechanism, as we have seen, and also the trade-off between the precision and time. Also, widget complexity and effort goes to some trade-off. In fact, generally, the users in all the paper we examine show physical and cognitive effort when they receive better precision. Another aspect is that the study of continuous feedback is limited to almost half of the papers, and also we found some evaluation bias in literature. In addition, as a final result, we found that apart the standard metrics, the test setup are very different. At the end of this study, we want to conclude with the perspective, and to leverage the potential of the widget, we need further research. So this paper wants to foster this research. The first result is that we need more research on widget design, so more dedicated studies. We should also need that the future study will more take in account the perception theory and not just putting teapots and other solutions which can work, but they have no background. Another is to explore continuous feedback, which means that the guidance can be given also during the path by amplification, degree of freedom isolation, and other systems. Also, another result which we want to stress is the lack of standard framework, and so the need of a paper which can provide at least a starting point to evaluate and compare the widgets. And finally, also, we want also to show to the research community that most of the research is done with students and young people. This is a common practice in UI literature, but at least we are not sure if the results we found are extendable and making general. With this, I want to end with the links of the papers, the full papers. We want also consider that this project has been financed by MIX, which is a European project and is funded by Italian government. In addition, we are able to answer to all your questions by emails, so please don't be shy in contacting us. Thank you and see you.